I got Sunday school. Coming you from Mars Studio 42. I'm on Black. Still into the Black History Month. Yes, I got Sunday school. Still in the Black History Month. And what do we speak about in Sunday school during Black History Month? Traditional Sunday school will not engage in any such topic. But traditional Sunday school is Black history a failure. Traditional Sunday school suggests that Africa was a backward place, primitive, undereducated people, savages, beings without soul. So the traditional Sunday school always suggested Africa to be the land of barbarians and cannibals, never projected as the land of culture and civilization. So within this Black history and I Black Sunday school, we look at the history of Africa, we look at the history of blackness as a phenomenon, blackness as a state of nature. Now, the present time that we're in brings to the fore the importance of the disciplines of astronomy, biology, chemistry, and physics and mathematics. Now, these are the critical sciences for any civilization to advance. These sciences have been limited in an organized way for Black people to really access and to embrace. When coming out of a culture of being an enslaved being, property, you may not find space to think about things like astronomy. Sounds very lofty. You may not think about chemistry, nor biology, the sciences of survival. So this Sunday school, as I didn't know, focus on three books given to us in the Book of Confusion. Book of Confusion is the King James Version of reality. And in those set of books given to us as foundation for reality, we examine Genesis, Exodus, and the Revelations. The assumption is that these are the three books that create the greatest chaos in the mind of Black people. Genesis, Exodus, and Revelations. So within this particular exploration now, we're in the Genesis again. And within the 2026 experience, space has become a very dominant and important frontier as I speak. The concept of space, the concept of the solar system, ideas of the galaxies, these things are now current as the Earth itself faces a climax, a crisis in astronomy and physics. The same sciences that I mentioned earlier. There's a crisis. The crisis is generated by the coming into our solar system of an advanced civilization in terms of traveling and affecting electromagnetism forces, affecting the Earth in ways that men who are in control of the academies are nervous. This is the first time the scientific community is acknowledging that human beings are not the only people in the universe. That human beings are not the only form of intelligence in the universe. Literally speaking, the evidence is here that they are now claiming that we are not alone. The idea of being alone came out of the whole Christian ideology of God creating man on earth. And man becomes the center of existence. And man is the most important creation. And man must worship God in spirit and in name. And all of these things have been given as doctrine. In 2026, all of this is now being challenged and overthrown. In 2026, the world of astronomy and physics have been given a major shake-up. And the shake-up is affecting the world of Christianity and the world of religion. The book that they give us to read speaks about a beginning. It says, in the beginning, God created heaven and earth. That's a foundation virus. I want to speak to the lines that follow, the story that follows, the narrative that follows. And it's in the book of Genesis. And I quote, and God said, let there be light. And there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness He called night. That is a line that has been imprinted in our consciousness from the days of our childhood. But we have never had the intelligence nor the courage to question the astronomy and the psychology in this announcement. So let us go through it line by line. And God said, let there be light. The mind automatically informs you that there was darkness. And darkness existed according to the story by saying, in the beginning, God created heaven and earth, and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. So this is the precondition, that darkness was upon the face of the deep. And now God is going to say, let there be light. Consider for the first time, earth in a state of darkness, complete darkness. And God will say, let there be light. And the earth will experience light. Where would the light come from? The light comes from the sun. So being scientific in our inquiry. So the earth, if we follow this narrative, existed before the sun. If we follow the narrative, it suggests to us that God created heaven and earth, and then created the sun to separate the light from the dark. Now, in the world of astronomy, in the makeup of our solar system, we ask ourselves the question, which is older, the earth or the sun? Check your own intelligence. Which is older, the earth or the sun? Because the science of today informs us that the sun is at the center of our solar system, and that the planets travel around the sun, each in their own orbit. Mercury Mars, Venus, Jupiter, Neptune, these planets travel around the sun. Can you conceptualize the Earth existing before the sun? Where would the Earth exist without the sun? So the turning on of the light is a mythology. It's mythology. The science reveals that the Earth is a subsidiary of the sun, and that the sun, being the center of the solar system, is the most ancient object in the system. All the planets circle around the sun. This solar system is only one of many, many billions of solar systems, because every star is potentially at the center of a star system. The Christian Bible captures our brain and tells us that in the beginning God created the earth. The earth was empty, without form except for darkness. And God turned on the sun, and the light for the first time was given a quality. God said, and the light was good. It's the first time in the narrative of creation we are being introduced to the concept of good. And it is the light that is good. The mind automatically assumes that the darkness is not good. So the God separated the light from darkness and said that the light was good, suggesting that the darkness was not good. The implication of that psychology suggests that all things in darkness are evil, and that light is the symbol of good. Subtle psychology. The idea of the beginning is seriously being challenged now by the movement in the world of astronomy. For the first time, the telescopes can see beyond the concept of the Big Bang. And astronomers now are debating whether the universe even had a beginning in the first place. Which I have been saying there is no beginning. There can be no beginning of something that is infinite. And likewise, there is no end to infinity. The African people now in this Black History Month, release our consciousness now out of that garden, out of that plantation in Eden, and begin to connect ourselves now to the galaxies. For the first time, humanity have evidence of advanced civilizations that are millions of years more advanced than what is on this primitive earth. It's an awakening for the scientific world who were under the illusion that they were superior. For the first time, humankind have something challenging them that nobody can manage, affecting the earth from 300 million miles away, interfering with nuclear connectivity, interfering with the satellites. And there's a bigger power now on the earth, and it's bigger than the source that we have been given as a creator. And what is happening now to the three-eye atlas is bigger than the creation story. Now we know we have evidence of a civilization more ancient than the very sun that surrounds us. Liberation, consciousness. Consciousness is not limited to the brain. Consciousness is everywhere. Darkness is power. Dark energy, dark matter. It's reality. So this is a brief Black Sunday School. Yes, a very limited one. But we are challenging the whole construct now of the beginning. Science in today's results establishing that the universe is not a universe. It's a multiverse. Multiverse of consciousness, multiverse of life forms. a flowing verse. So we're going to use that chart. There is no beginning, there is no end. Time is infinite, space is infinite, consciousness is infinite.